My name is Stephanie Muchiri. Most people know me as Shiko Muchiri. I am an actress, a content creator on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, I got into acting in 2019 and I've been doing it ever since, and I love it with all my heart. I think it's just interesting to be able to explore different worlds while still being in your own, you know. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, and I study psychology as well. I'm doing a degree in counseling and psychology. I was one of those kids who didn't know what to do after finishing school, but I think it was just God leading me, because the way I got into counseling, because I chose journalism, psychology, I think engineering at some point. So me getting into psychology, I think, was also like God directing my path, because I ended up doing acting as well. And you see, if I had done engineering, for example, it would have been so hectic, because I wouldn't have been able to balance the two. So yeah, that's why. But I loved it as well. It helps me till today to understand people, to talk to people properly, you know. Well, I'm an actress. I've done a couple of shows on Showmax, one on Netflix very soon, end of this year. And yeah, basically what I do is portray other characters on screen, tell stories through acting and film. So that's a little bit about my career so far. I'd say Malkia and also Gigi. Malkia from A Better Life and Gigi from Second Family. The two characters are totally different. Malkia is from the ghetto. She's just come up, she got a scholarship. So that's how her character is. She's literally fighting for, fighting against rather, the government destroying her home. So also balancing school and all that. But for Gigi, she's now from this rich family. Her dad died and all those things. Like it's a lot on her end, but also she's not the type to fight unless she has to. And I think that's also like kind of, it reflects me to some extent, because I don't like conflict. I don't like if I don't have to fight, I prefer not to. Because sometimes, for example, especially when it comes to emotional scenes, getting into that space, especially if you've had you've woken up, that's the day you've woken up well, everything is going good, you didn't find traffic, you got to set on time, like those are the days when you'll now have to dig into now your traumas and your whoever did you wrong. You channel that energy, bring it out, cry, repeat, and then getting out of it is also a lot, because you have to de-roll and get yourself out of that space, that mental space. Sometimes, for example, I've caught myself on set, whenever I have an emotional scene, that days when it's too intense, I keep crying even when they call cut. So it takes a lot to get yourself out of it. So if you don't know, or if you don't have like a coping mechanism to help you with that, it's a lot. It can really weigh you down. Yeah. I'd be up by around 5:30, because, for example, my call time mostly on set is around 7 a.m. So I'll be up by 5:30, do my morning devotion, skincare, shower, prepare for my script if I have to, and then leave for set. Get on set by 7:15, have breakfast, get into wardrobe, hair and makeup, then shoot the whole day, lunch, of course, and then finish. Wrap set, depending on what time. If it's a day shoot, early. If it's a night shoot, of course, we have to go on till like late night. But after I'm done with set, I usually just go home, listen to music, chill. I don't do anything other than because I need to de-roll out of that day's work, you know. So I get home, I de-roll, I just relax for an hour or two, and then I get into now the scenes for the next day. That's when I now prepare, go through it, see where my character is coming from, etc, etc. So that's how I prepare myself. I am able to express myself through my craft. I love how I can play different people, I can experience different things while on set. For example, I've never been to Madare, like Ndani, but when I was playing Malkia, for example, that's where we used to shoot from. So it was so interesting to even interact with the local people there, like just to hear their stories, to see how they live life, you know, because I think that exposure is so important so that you can be able to be open-minded and be able to play a role well, because it teaches you to be able to put yourself in that situation and live the way they live and not just as you assume they live, you know. So yeah, playing different characters, it also helps me. I don't know, I've learned so much through it. Like I learned how to go-kart through acting. I learned how to speak Sheng sorry, through acting. Like it has taught me a lot. I think it's just an expression of different areas of life. My primary school life was, I think, one of the most impactful and the most interesting part of my story, because I never was interested in drama like that, but I just loved watching plays. I loved seeing them. I don't know, like just seeing characters, like the energy while people are on stage is enormous. So my primary school, I was in Nairobi Primary. The school had people from all over, different backgrounds. We had Chinese people, we had guys from like different backgrounds. So I think that really helped me be open-minded and be able to interact with people from different backgrounds. Even right till today, I think it's helped me. Even me speaking Kiswahili is not like, it won't be ati I'm twanging, you know, the Kiswahili ati aki, let me tell you. No, it's now proper. I can easily blend wherever, you know. And I thank God for that, because I don't know, my primary school was just freestyle. Like I loved it. I loved playing with other kids. I loved reading. I loved my teachers. It was so interesting. Hata tukitandikwa tunatandikwa tukiwa wote, you know. But yeah, I was so interested in learning new things. I think that's one of the things that I think I'd say I was really prominent in back then, even till today. Just learning new things, trying out new experiences. For me to even go for that first, the gig my friend called me for, my mom took me, and then we were just there. She saw how things are going, and then she was like, no, I don't want you in this environment. And I'm like, but I can't, I mean, every environment has its own people, it has its pros and cons. So, I mean, you can't necessarily focus on the cons and judge the environment based on that. So I told, on our way back home, I told her, but that's, I mean, it's not the, whatever matters is how you respond to the environment around you. It doesn't matter what they're feeding you, how you respond to it and what you're consuming is what is going to determine if you're going to make it out of it alive, right? So at that point, the next time, because I didn't shoot on that the first day when my mom took me, because I don't know, the character I was playing with didn't show up. So the next week they called me again. My mom was like, I'm not taking you. You find your way there. You find, if you want to go, I'm not going to take you. And it's Dream Peponi. I live in, we were living in Kilimani at that time. I'm supposed to find my way to Peponi. I don't have enough money for it. I'm just fresh from high school. And you know, the budget is tight because I have my brothers also in Strath. I was in Kianda. These are private schools. The school fees wasn't cheap. So for me to even ask them for money, I think it was just like, are we going to buy for you nail polish and hair and makeup, or are we going to pay for your school fees, you know? So at that point, I was doing a few things here and then. I used to save a little bit. I used to save. So by that week, when the next time I was being called, I used my savings. I found my way to town. So I got to set. That's actually the day I met the producer. I didn't meet him the other time. So now I met the producer then, and then he now introduced me into now the industry properly. But the response, my dad was supportive, but I think it's just because he also didn't understand really like what I was doing. Like, he was just like, she's a kid, let her just do whatever makes her happy, you know. Plus right now she's not doing anything, let's just, you know. But my mom was so overprotective. She was like, no. And then when now I started progressing in the industry, my mom was like, okay, you know, you need to still focus on school. You can leave these other opportunities, finish school first, then you can do the opportunities. I'm telling her I can balance the two. I will do everything in my power to balance the two. There's no way I'm going to get an audition and I get the role and leave it. No way. So that's how, at first they were not as supportive, but right now I think they've started to understand and see the fruits of my labor. So they're now very supportive. My mom is always telling me how proud of me she is. Even my dad, there's a time he came to set and he was like, "Wait, kumbe you guys do serious things." I'm like, "What do you thought I was doing what?" Like he was shocked because we were shooting in like a cave somewhere. That day. But yeah, I think at first they weren't as supportive, but now they think they understand. They're slowly understanding. One of my highlights is playing Malkia on a Better Life series, and I can't wait to tell you more about it after the commercial break. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back, guys. My name is Stephanie Muchiri, aka Shiko Muchiri. I'm an actress and content creator, and as you all know, it is what it is. I'd say shooting the Netflix project. It's coming out very soon. I think we've started advertising, etc. But I think that was one of my biggest highlights. The character really challenged me. It was I can't give too many details, but it was a really interesting character that I had to play, and it really got me out of my comfort zone. But other than that, I'd say also Malkia from A Better Life. She was from the ghetto. She had to fight people in the government. She had to fight for what she believes in. The emotional scenes were a lot. The monologues were a lot. It was a lot, to say the least. But I think those were the biggest highlights. And Pa as well. I played Lydia in Pa, the Sky Girls series. I think that was my biggest, was my debut in the industry properly, because I think that was my first series as a main. So that was my breakthrough, and then I continued from there. Working with guys like Nick Ndeda, Mombi Maina, Brian Ogola, Doranya Boke. These are people, Mkamze, like these are people I've seen in the industry and I've admired since I was a kid. So being able to be in this, even Sarah Hassan, like being in the same space as them, it's so surreal. It's so surreal. And they're such amazing people. And I think that's actually one of my biggest highlights, like being able to share a platform with these people. The people will only carry you the way you carry yourself, and how you portray yourself is how they will portray you. Because at the end of the day, if you want someone to pay you a certain amount of money, do you present yourself in that way? Do you put in the same work? Do you show up on set and deliver and make sure that there's no question about your work, there's no question about your craft? So I think one of the biggest lessons is knowing your worth and knowing when to say no. If you feel like it's not going to serve you, have that abundance mentality and say, imagine it's okay, this was not for me, but don't settle for less. Honestly, don't, because you'll pay for it. Trust me, you will pay for it. If something was meant for you, no human being will be able to take it away from you. God is the one who aligns your destiny and control and plans your path. So if you feel like you have to compromise yourself in terms of compromising your mental health, your physical body, your body as well, like if you feel like you have to compromise any part of yourself, then it was not meant for you. Just say no, be grateful for the opportunity and move on. Like have that abundance mentality, knowing that if that was meant for me, God would not put me in a position to compromise myself, right? So I think that's one of my biggest lessons, and it has taught me to say no and to choose my battles and knowing when I'm being played or not. Like it's just so simple to say no, you know, but also it's very hard. But at the end of the day, you know who you are for. Through my social media, when I did PA, so many girls reached out to me. They were like, oh my God, hi, I'd love to also get into acting. You inspire me so much. And I think my social media is a platform where I get to teach young girls how to be able to chase their dreams and to follow their dreams, and to also see how hard it is to follow your dreams and the sacrifice that it takes. So I think I'd say I inspire people indirectly through my social media and my work, which I am so grateful for, because individual, me, Aki, I'm so socially awkward. Jeez. So yeah, I think I inspire people through my work. Research, learn from people, ask questions. That's basically what I do. Like, for example, if I'm rewatching my episodes, I'd be able to see a mistake or consult my other fellow actors, not the people I've been working with, Kinadora, Nick, Mombi. Like, I'd ask them, what do you think about my performance here? I talk to my directors. These are always like learning from them each and every day and trying to perfect my craft each and every day, learning from other people who are abroad, watching a scene and being able to break it down and see the emotions, how they portray it, you know. All these things are very unconscious, but they're very, I don't know how to put it, but it's something that I think I've conditioned my body and my mind to do, like just to observe, to see how they're putting the lights, you know, just so many. I consume a lot of information and I observe a lot of things. So I think it's taught me how to be able to spot if I'm making a mistake, or how to deliver a line properly, or if it's an emotion, how do I portray it? Am I just saying the lines, or I'm actually passing a message, right? It's nerve-wracking. It's your first time. Like, you don't know if you're doing the right thing or if you're doing the wrong thing. But I think, I don't know how to say it. I think me watching TV while growing up also made me be able to unconsciously deliver how they're delivering, you know. I'm not overreacting, I'm not overdoing it. It's just like having a conversation, you know. That's acting, just being normal, you know. So my first monologue, I fumbled a lot. I was nervous, I was shaking, but also I think the people I was doing it with at that point were nice, kind enough to be able to allow me to make my mistakes and correct me through it. Even if I didn't get the role at that time, I learned from it. It was more of like, I'm human. This is my first time. I won't beat myself up for it, you know. Till today, auditions give me butterflies. Like, I feel like I'm so nervous and anxious, you know. As much as I've done all these things, you still have to prove yourself each and every time, you know. I think the one that really made me have all sorts of emotions was the one for the Netflix series. So we go in for auditions. We first did a first audition online. We had to send in monologues, which I did. Then we were called for callbacks. Now this is the second auditions. So when we go for the callbacks, I'm seeing dope actresses and actors in the room. And I'm like, whoa, okay, we're doing this. So now I get into I rehearse, or rather the first time I had dressed, because I had errands to run during the day. So I had dressed in a certain way. I had jeans, a white t-shirt and just a sweater. Then the director came in and then he was like, okay, so these are the characters we're auditioning for. This is what they look like. This is what... Then I looked at myself, I was like, no. I took Anduthi home. I went and changed just like the character and came back. That's actually... I talked to the director after. He was like, that's actually what made me get you for the role, because I knew you could act, but I was wondering how I'm going to make you look like older, a bit older, because that was the role I was playing. So at that point, I'm like, imagine if I didn't change. Like, and then at that, we were receiving the callbacks, the news if you've gotten the role the same day. So as soon as you leave, you go home, you wait for the information. It's not like a week later, or no, the same day. I went home, put my phone on Do Not Disturb, ordered food. I ate, removed my wig, and slept. I woke up at like 7:30 to check my messages. I'm seeing a notification from the casting director. I'm like, okay, God. So I tapped on it, I saw congratulations. I was like, wow. The emotion, it was so nerve-wracking. I'm seeing all these dope actors. I'm like, wow, these are people who I'm competing with. Oh my God. But yeah, I'm so blessed, honestly, to be able to get that role and to be able to perform it. And I really hope you guys see the results we did, you know? I'd say that with all humility, I'd say that I've had one of the most easiest transitions into this industry. many people have been in this industry since back then, since I was a kid, and they still are looking for that breakthrough. And for me, I think God led my steps and my ways, and I'd say I'm just blessed. It hasn't been easy as well. Not that I'm saying that now that I got an easy transition, everything has been all rainbow and sunshine. No, it's been hard. The days I've cried because I'm so frustrated, I'm tired, I haven't slept, I've missed my family and my friends. It hasn't been an easy journey, but it has just been God led. I think that's all I can say, because I wouldn't say I planned for any of this. I didn't even know I wanted to be an actor. I did not know. I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to get into business or something, but being an actor and actually making a career out of it, I didn't see myself here at all. I didn't. I think it's just God, man. It's just God, yeah. Chasing the money instead of actually perfecting your craft. If you're not putting in the work, if you're not putting in the hours, if you're not sacrificing, because it takes a lot of sacrifice. Things are not just handed into you on a platter, you know. You have to go look for the auditions, you have to shoot monologues in the house, you have to find someone to shoot for you if you don't have a proper phone or if you don't have good lighting or whatever. You have to really put in the hours, you have to go for the auditions, you have to go through the rejection. All that is what will form you. When you get that role, it's not a question about if you're going to deliver, it's a question about, okay, how far can you push yourself, you know? But most people in my generation right now follow the money and chase the money instead of actually learning how to perfect your craft. Then the money will follow. The money will follow. If your work is good, trust me, you will be able to ask for something and it will be delivered to you, you know? So don't chase the money, forget the money, perfect your craft, perfect your music. That's how Kina Beyonce started, that's how Kina Adele started, Viola Davis. None of them followed the money, they all followed the passion, which was music, acting, you know? So I'd say just don't forget about the money, you perfect your craft, the money will come, it will come. Live your own life. Move with good intentions, don't harm anyone, and also believe in yourself. You're your number one supporter. If you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect someone else to believe in you, you know? So yeah, and it is what it is. If you get that rejection, it's just a redirection. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It might mean maybe the parents that have been casted are dark skin and you're light skin, or vice versa. It doesn't mean that you're not talented. It just means that was not for you, you know. So take no's as a redirection from God and know that something better is going to come. Have an abundance mentality. So my social media handles are Muchiri _ on every platform, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and yeah, CIKU Muchiri _.